Greetings and salutations, all you truthers and flat earthers. I trust you're each enjoying some beautiful long summer days and warm evenings on our lovely flat, motionless Earth. And how do I know Earth is truly flat? Well, there's just a few small issues I have, such as all the missing curvature that's expected, oceans don't ever bend, and all these repeatable scientific experiments and effects. So while I'm sure this may be reality for someone out there, it's simply not mine, that's all. But before we go into full Flat Earth Crush mode, examine some awesome new model details, and happily put heliocentrism in a hurt locker once again, first I must briefly pause after last video's unveiling of a brand new Flat Earth model to express my sincerest gratitude for the overall outstanding reception and consideration that it received. Seriously, for everyone out there who contributed their thoughts and offered genuine support, including constructive criticism or advice, I just have to say thank you all very much from the bottom of my flat earth heart. And for all those who wanted to know, yes, the new flat earth model does indeed include a 360-degree enclosure of ice and land encompassing it. So I added a white border around the perimeter, but please remember, Antarctica is a continent separate from any ice wall shown. Also, everyone, please be advised, while this is indeed a new model, this is not intended as a finished working map as stated last video. I am well aware there are some distance and some flight path issues, as well as several distortions shown on the projection. Anytime a world map that was initially dealing with globe coordinates is flattened onto a two-dimensional surface, there are going to be distortions. The azimuthal equidistant map contains several distortions as well, but distances from the center point are proportionally correct. So yes, I'm well aware that Australia is too big, Africa is too small, and that New Zealand is far too low. Again, that's not why I chose this particular stereographic projection, which means it does in fact wrap completely around an oblate spheroid. But rather I chose these projections because of very specific criteria that I wish to highlight and introduce. Perfecting flight paths and distances are about steps number 8 or 9, and I am still on steps like 3 and 4 here. Having a universally accurate two-dimensional map with correct distances and perfectly portrayed continents and their exact proportions is considered the holy grail of flat Earth, and many of the brightest minds in the community are hard at work preparing such a map. The projections chosen here are simply templates, meant to convey overall continent distribution and general orientation. They were chosen because of the following principal features of the new flat Earth model, chiefly using the transverse equatorial aspect of the azimuthal equidistant projection. 1. It matches seasonal sun paths, positions, and azimuth angles for all sunrises and sunsets. 2. It incorporates two celestial and magnetic poles upon a flat, stationary plane. 3. It is surrounded by a 360-degree shoreline enclosure of land and ice. 4. It recognizes the 24-hour midnight sun phenomenon at both geomagnetic poles. Number 5. It features equal day length times for comparative latitudes north and south of the equator. And number 6. It includes Antarctica as a continent. The channel known as Free Energy, linked below, has done a great job modeling the rectangular model, another flat Earth favorite and interesting alternative to the AE model. Using the Universal Transverse Mercator, or UTM system, also known as the Military Grid Reference System as its basis, this model contains some of the most accurate Earth distances available and is probably the best working map as far as the mid-latitudes go. It also correctly shows no significant difference in day lengths in the north and south on equivalent days of the year. An insistence on using equal length latitudes, however, causes quite heavy distortions near both of Earth's poles, making countries near the poles look much larger than they really are. And a strictly straight moving sun translates to having no Arctic or Antarctic midnight sun phenomenon, and totally ignores the counter-rotating patterns of stars around both celestial poles as well. The real deal breaker, however, is that it requires mysterious Pac-Man portals for any east to west circumnavigation whatsoever, and this insistence that the sun, moon, and stars travel on perfectly straight trajectories is unfortunately not in accordance with Mother Nature. For throughout the summer, up north, the sun is clearly seen encircling the north as it moves along against the backdrop of constellations, while in the winter months, the same sun is clearly seen encircling the south for half of each year. This is because the two tropics are actually elliptical circles. In this sketch of mine, originally inspired by a similar one from the Principled Legal Standard YouTube channel, an overhead view depicts the sun encircling each tropic in turn for 6 months around the Tropic of Cancer from approximately late March to early September, and then rounding the Tropic of Capricorn from late September to early March, beautifully mirroring by day the same exact counter-rotating paths of star trails as seen by night, and oscillating from one tropic to another, specifically on the equinoxes. The sun's most basic trajectories are partly depicted in this simplistic animation. The sun doesn't lie, as they say. These sun projection diagrams present solid evidence of the northern encircling sun. Please note the June solstice dateline paths near the top of each, clearly depicting a circular Tropic of Cancer boundary line. I also submit these time-lapse photographs of the 24-hour Arctic midnight sun as crystal clear evidence for the northern encircling sun as well. North of the equator, both the AE model and the T model, as in the transverse equatorial model, and not to be confused with Model T, are in agreement regarding the sun's northern curving path along the circular Tropic of Cancer boundary line. Immediately below the equator, however, the AE model simply refuses to acknowledge either the south celestial pole, which now reigns supreme within the sky, or the complete mirror image reversal of the southern sun path trajectories and southern sunrise/sunset azimuth angles. Flat earthers can no longer bury our heads in the sand regarding the observable reality of southern sunrises south of due east and southern sunsets south of due west for 6 consecutive months each year, precisely because the AE model demands all southern sunrises to appear from the northeast and all southern sunsets to descend north of west for every month of every year. So I wish to submit these sun projection diagrams that prove beyond a shadow of a doubt the southern encircling sun's December solstice paths along the Tropic of Capricorn's southern boundary, along with this screenshot from suncalc.org, and finally a short video clip revealing the December solstice sun as seen from Alaska looking due south, as beautifully rendered on the Principled Legal Standards YouTube channel. Take careful note of the sun as it first advances towards the observer before rapidly retreating back towards the south again, and feel free to review it as often as necessary. There can be no reasonable doubt that the Tropic of Capricorn completely envelops the southern hemiplane of flat Earth. Together, the two elliptical tropic boundaries sandwich in the equator within the center, and taken as a whole, form the unmistakable, indelible mark of a figure 8, or infinity symbol. I wish to submit evidence of this overarching figure 8 comprising the sun's annual paths in the form of several photos taken of Earth's analemma. According to heliocentrism, the analemma is the direct result of the differential between Earth's aphelion and perihelion given its elliptical orbit around the sun. However, since all historical scientific experiments to date have completely failed to measure any axial or orbital motion of Earth whatsoever, it becomes clear that it is in fact the sun moving above our demonstrably stationary Earth instead. Yet the infinitely repeating analemma pattern is not specifically addressed or predicted by any other contemporary Earth models, whether geocentric or not. That is, until now. Fortunately, the new transverse or T model actually predicts the solar analemma, as the analemma is essentially an ultra-slow, year-long time lapse taken of the sun, and should be considered as indisputable evidence that indeed our sun, over the full course of a year, forms a beautiful figure-8 pattern over the plane of Mother Earth. Everything discussed thus far regarding the new flat Earth model has ample evidence supporting it. However, now I shall offer up my theory that endeavors to explain exactly how and why the sun, moon, and stars should move about in the way that they do, as illustrated herein. In the process, I shall even provide an explanation as to why we have a locally fixed celestial equator as well. And I welcome and encourage others within the Flat Earth community to contribute their own theoretical take on the whole figure-8 motif, and thoroughly look forward to all viewpoints and commentary shared going forward. We know that Earth has a powerful electromagnetic field known as the magnetosphere. However, there is still a great deal of mystery surrounding it, such as understanding its primary cause and secret to longevity over the entire course of Earth's recorded history. The point is, there's still a lot left to discover pertaining to Earth's magnetosphere. Surprisingly, conventional astronomy has failed to make any significant connections between Earth's electromagnetic field and incoming light waves such as star trails and their subsequent motions across the night sky. Casually surveying the celestial sphere, one cannot fail to notice that there are, in fact, two celestial poles. Stars revolve counterclockwise around the north celestial pole star of Polaris in the north, and clockwise around the south celestial pole's nearest equivalent star, Sigma Octantis. Stars over the equator travel dead straight from east to west. Interestingly, there's a type of electrically charged magnet known as a solenoid that naturally creates counter-rotating field lines along a two-dimensional plane. My hypothesis suggests that all of the natural luminaries we perceive within the heavenly plane are in fact slaves to Earth's misunderstood magnetosphere. I believe we have mistaken Earth's true magnetic morphology and suggest that we try conceptually rotating the four cardinal directions clockwise 90 degrees, so that north becomes west, east becomes north, west becomes south, and south becomes east. Because once you've made this conceptual leap, a whole new pattern emerges that unlocks the real secret behind all heavenly motion governing the natural luminaries. Whether day or night, most heavenly bodies flow like a magnetic river across the sky, with the celestial equator marking the center stream between the two counter-rotating fields. The two celestial poles remain fixed because they're actually trapped within circumpolar vortices, while the sun pulses through the field like a circuit, alternating between clockwise and counterclockwise revolutions over the course of a year. Nature is nothing if not efficient, and for whatever reason, the creative force behind the universe left us a personal signature of eternal immortality. Welcome to the new Flat Earth model, where we need not lose any more Flat Earthers over issues like Antarctica and southern sun angles. Thank you for watching, and may God bless you all.